Right. This is the Inheritance in Dragons lab. So we're going to work on genetics today. This is a lab that you're going to work with a partner on. So I'll put you in partners. I may have to put you in a group of 3 if we have an odd number in the class. If you are in a group of 3, I'll drop in and give you directions that are a little bit different. The same general set of directions is going to work, but how you'll work it with 3 people, there's just a little bit of a difference. So to do the lab, you're going to need a couple things. You are going to need the 2 worksheets that are here on PantherLearn. So you can see there's 2 of them, Inheritance and Dragons. That's the one that has the directions and the questions that you're going to need to answer. Inheritance and Dragons Part 2 is a chart. So I've got those 2 pulled up. So here's the chart. So you'll need that one. And I'm going to show you how to fill that out. And then you're going to need, like I said, the directions one, which is going to look like this on the first page. So you are going to need to hand in both of these documents completed. You also are going to need your Ziploc bag of dragon genetics. It's got some what look like tongue depressors or popsicle sticks in it. You should have 3 different colors. When I say different colors, they'll look like the same color until you spread them out, and they will have different colored tips colored on them. So you should have one that has a yellow tip, one that has a green tip, and then one that has a blue or a pink tip. So just to kind of walk you through, you're going to fill out this first page. So there's a Punnett square on the front page here. You can see it's got the mom and the dad there for you, so you're going to fill that out. And then it goes into kind of explaining overall what you're going to be doing in this lab. So I do recommend kind of reviewing over this because it's going to tell you what the process is and then what you're going to do that's equivalent to that. So here's where the actual lab starts. So you're going to get a partner, and I am going to have to do some assigning of partners because I don't know who has what sticks. So you do need to have a boy dragon and a girl dragon in each pair. So we've got to make sure that we've got those. So you number 2, I just noticed is not correct insofar as you don't need to pick them up. You have your stick bundles. So you can go ahead and if you haven't done so already, you can get them out. And the first step is you need to record your alleles off of these sticks. So if you look at your sticks, you have letters on each side, and those are the alleles for each gene for each characteristic of the dragons. So each of you in your pair are going to need to do this. And so this is what the chart here is for. And I'm going to show you how this works. So you're going to take first your green chromosome. So that's the one with the green tip on it. And if you see on mine, it's got the 4 letters on one side, W, L, A, G. And then on the other side, it also has a W, L, A, G. Now mine, it looks like my set has the same exact letters. So on here, if it has a line underneath of it, then that means if we look here on the 3rd page of the directions, there's this little code chart. If it has a line underneath of it, that means that it's representing big W. Since capital W and lowercase w look the same, I put a line underneath any of them that are uppercase W's, big W's. And I put that here in this key as well. So how do we fill out the chart with the information on these sticks? Well, you have 2 sides to each stick, which means you have 2 copies of each allele. So I have a pink stick, so that means I'm a mom dragon. So my alleles are going to go here under the genotypes, under mom. You'll see under each dragon. For mom dragon, there's 2 boxes for everything. For dad dragon, there's 2 boxes for everything. So what you're going to type in the box is what's on your stick. So you'll look at one side. So remember, these are my sticks. Your sticks will probably have something different. All right, so record what's on your stick. So on my stick, I have big W, big L, big A, big G. So that's what I'm going to type in the first box. Capital W, capital L, capital A, and capital G. And I'm going to underline that W so that I know it is the capital one. Now, if I flip my stick over, boom, on the other side, you can see mine's the same. Capital W, capital L, capital A, capital G. So I'm going to put the same letters in mine. Now, like I said, your sticks should be different. Everybody's sticks in the class should be slightly different because you're all genetically different. So this is my dragon's genotype for the wings, neck, and tail, skin pigment, and skin color. So that's why you've got the sticks and you've got letters on both sides, because you've got 2 copies of each of those alleles. Okay, so you're going to do the same thing for the next section. You're going to scroll down and you're going to do this for the yellow chromosome. So you've got a yellow one with a little yellow, and it's got the letters F, T, and R. So you can see here on mine, I have capital F, capital T, capital R on one side. So capital F, capital T, capital R. And then if we flip mine over to the other side, I have lowercase f, lowercase t, lowercase r. So that's what's going to go in my other set of boxes. Oop, I typed capital. In fact, it's fixing it for me. T, R. And you may have to tell it, if you're typing in it, to uncapitalize it. All right, so that's the yellow chromosome. So one for either side. Now your sex chromosomes, this is what tells you if you're a boy dragon or a girl dragon, mom or a dad dragon. Since mine is pink, that says that I am a girl dragon. The other thing that shows you that you are a boy or a girl dragon are the sex chromosomes that are on here. So mine has an X on this side, and if we flip to the other side, I have an X on the other side. The dad dragons or the male dragons are going to have an X on one side, and they would have a Y on the other side. All right, so my sex chromosomes are going to be X and X because I have an X on either side. And then the other thing that's here is there's a gene for horns, and so you'll see H's on here too. And so you need to put those in. Now these are on the sex chromosomes. So female dragons, you're going to have 2 if you're a female dragon. So you're going to have, mine has a big H, and then if we look on my other side, I have a little h. So I have 2 copies. That's why the mom has 2 boxes. And gotta tell it again, don't fix it. Okay. So if I was a male, if I was a dad dragon, my box here would read XY, and then you'd only have 1 H anywhere on your sticks, and it would be on the side with the X. So that's why one of the boxes is blacked out. What would be on the Y side is an M if you're a male dragon. And so you would put an M in this box. Females don't get spikes, so that's why yours is filled out as none. All right. So now you're going to fill that out and get the data from the other dragon in your pair. got all of that filled out. I don't have my other dragon pair, so I'm going to record all of the alleles. So that's number 3. And so we just saw each side of the popsicle sticks is 1 chromosome, so 1 set of the genes. Now we're going to use the chart on page 3 to find the phenotypes for each parent, and then record that in the chart. You can do that now, or you can wait until you have all of the genotypes for all the dragons. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that, and then I'll come back to step number 5. So let's go down here to the chart. So what I mean by decode is you're going to take a look here at the traits and take a look at what you have for your genotype. So for example, mom has big W, so she's homozygous dominant for wings. So my dragon is homozygous dominant for wings. So you'd come over into mom's box and type has wings. Then let's skip down here to fire. So fire is regular, dominant, and recessive. So you can see up here it says dominant alleles, recessive alleles. So those ones will work just like we talked about with normal genes. So this one still works as dominant and recessive. So I have a dominant gene and a recessive gene. So I'm heterozygous. But if I'm heterozygous, that means I still get to breathe fire because I have one dominant copy. So mom is a fire breather. Then a couple of these traits are going to work a little different. And so you can see for T and R, the directions are down lower. So let me move that. So T and R are incompletely dominant alleles. So these ones are going to mix together to make traits. So if you are totally dominant, you've got 2 dominant genes, you're going to be a 5-toed dragon. If you are heterozygous, you're going to be a 4-toed dragon. And if you are homozygous recessive, basically you've got 2 little t's, you're going to be a 3-toed dragon. So I have a big T, little t, I'm heterozygous, so I'm going to be a 4-toed dragon. And so you're going to go through and fill this out. Do keep these little guys in mind. You'll see that there's little stars throughout on some of these. So those are directing you here. If you have a dragon that has little a, which means the dragon is albino, unable to make skin pigment. It has white skin and it has no freckles because it cannot make skin pigment. So it doesn't mean it doesn't have any skin pigment no matter what genes it inherits, and it does not get freckles no matter what freckles genes you inherit. So just keep that in mind if you end up getting those characteristics. And then the last parts for the sex chromosomes are just straightforward male, female. So dragons determine sex just like we do in humans. So this one is female, right? Because X. And then heterozygous for horns. This is back to dominant and recessive. So I am a horned dragon, or you can say has horns. So that's how you're going to decode, right? Decode the phenotypes. So you just need to, this is practice on using those ideas that we've had with inheritance in lab. All right, so let's go back now to step number 5. So you've decoded and recorded the phenotypes for mom and dad. Now you're going to have your dragons lay a baby dragon egg. In order to do that, you each need to basically make sperm and eggs, right? So you're going to do that by taking, for each, it says for each color autosome, those are your green and yellow sticks. And for your sex chromosome, you're going to take each stick and just like it says there, just drop it. I know I don't have my big camera on, but you know, just let it fall. So drop it from a height and let it fall. And then whatever side lands up is the side that is going to go into your egg or sperm from your dragon. So you just take your sticks, drop them one by one. If you drop them as a group, they're all going to fall the same way. So you want to drop them one by one. And so then you've got your sticks, and record whatever is now face up in your egg or sperm column. So you can see here, you've got alleles in the egg. So whatever is face up for the mom dragon, that's going to go in the egg for all of the characteristics. And then whatever is face up for the dad dragon after doing the drop is what goes in the sperm column. Then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to decode those genes just like you saw before using that table on page 3 and record the traits here on your chart. Then the last things you have to do are draw a baby dragon. I know some of you are probably very excited and some of you are like, oh, but this is why you have the colored pencils in your box so that you can draw your baby dragon and you can freehand your baby dragon. So if you want to just draw it, I am not going to judge art skills. You have not gotten to experience all of my wonderful art skills on the dry erase board in class this semester, but I am not that artistic as far as drawing goes. But there's also at the end of these lab sheets, if you've printed them off, a template for drawing the dragon. So you can use this, you can trace it, and make your baby dragon with that. So all the characteristics are here. So you can see there's the horn for the nose. You've got short neck and long neck, wings, fire, the different numbers of toes. So you can build your baby dragon from using that template. There's the little tail spikes for the males. And the thing is, if you draw your entire dragon family based on the traits in your table, you'll earn 2 extra credit points. So if you have to draw your baby dragon based on whatever traits show up here in the phenotypes, but for 2 extra credit points, you draw all 3 of them, okay, based on what's in your table. Once that is done, or at some point, you want to come in here and answer the questions. So if you have any questions about these, obviously ask me either during lab session or you can email me. So here you've just got some Punnett square practice, looking at comparing your parent dragons to your baby dragon. This question usually gets people stuck, number 3. So we can definitely talk about this one as a class. Basically, you need to go back and look at how meiosis works and think about how this lab, what you just did, how it's like meiosis and what's missing from meiosis. So something happens in meiosis that you cannot do with your little popsicle sticks. Okay. Then there's some questions here about the horns. So you can see the first ones are talking about your specific pair of dragons. So for your mom and dad, that's what the first question here about daughters and the second question about sons are. The last question, though, is asking for the entire dragon population. So if we looked at our entire class, which one is more likely to have horns? And think about why that might be. And then why the horns might be an advantage for that sex. This part, you can be very creative in your answer, but make sure you give me an answer for that second question. And then this last section is looking at phenotypes and genotypes. So make sure to fill out this table, taking a look back at that decoding table, and then think about how the environment could affect baby dragons as they grow up. So that is the run through on this lab. If you have, like I said, if you have questions, run into problems, just let me know, and have some fun drawing your dragons.